And we're back, folks, to another episode of GGS2 Case 3. We've gone to go see the Chief Justice of Heart Vortex, and we ran into, we saw someone in passing named Courtney Sith, who seems to be in part of the Scientific Investigation group. She's a coroner, as far as I'm aware. And, well, we're here to talk to Vortex about what's happening to Dirt Poor's experiment and other things. You get my meaning. The Scientific Investigation Unit. So what was that Scientific Investigation Unit thing you mentioned earlier? The Imperial Police in the Great British Empire must be the best of the world. In order to ensure that, implementing a full-fledged Scientific Investigation Unit was a matter of utmost urgency. That's why I've been working unofficially for the past year to create and prepare the Scientific Investigation Unit.
A whole year?
At next month's symposium, oh my god, why am I just going all over my words before I just started this? At next month's symposium, I will unveil the fruit of my labors to the world. At that point, there's nothing the House of Lords will be able to do to oppose the institution of the Scientific Investigation Unit. That achievement will pave the way for me to become Attorney General and crush any criminal who opposes us. Excuse me, crush? Crush? Anyone who says that gets bad vibes. There are villains out there who use methods like bribing the jurors or getting witnesses to lie in order to evade legal repercussions for their crimes. They defile the fine city of London. All that rubbish will be reduced to cinders via a legal hellfire. With that goal in mind that I stand in this office. The police force I've created will protect the Imperial City's honor and future. Look in Lord Vortex's eyes. He's clearly dead serious. Dr. Sith is a trustworthy coroner. When the Scientific Investigation Unit is officially established at Scotland Yard, I plan to put her in charge of the unit as my right-hand woman. Oh, returning to the topic of the symposium. Ms. Mikotoba.
Yes.
I believe your father should also be in the midst of his nautical journey, headed for the Great British Empire, correct?
Yes. He said he'd be arriving at the beginning of next month.
Do you know him, Lord Vortex? Professor Mikotoba, I mean. It's been many years since we last met, but I remember Dr. Mikotoba. Oh! Dr. Mikotoba. I believe it was 15 years ago that your father came to study abroad in this country.
It was the year that I was born, which would make it 16 years ago.
The young forensic pathologist Mikotoba and the young judge Chugoku. We were exceedingly impressed by the steadiness and politeness of the Japanese. I don't intend to say that you're sloppy or ill-mannered. You understand. I didn't say anything. I believe Dr. Mikotoba went to study forensic medicine at one of our major hospitals. London's, let's see, St. Andrew Hospital, as I recall. Dr. Sith was also at that hospital at the time.
Does that mean that Dr. Sith also knows my father?
Acting as the medical assistant at the time. They probably didn't work directly together, but they'd have known each other's faces at least. Dr. Mikotoba learned forensic medicine as a research student there for about 6 years. 6 years? It's quite a long study abroad term.
I spent that time in the care of my grandmother.
We left newborn Susato-san and studied abroad for 6 years, huh?
It seems that there was a lot going on with my family at the time.
Sounds complicated. Huh?
Perhaps my father needed some time away from Japan.
Wow, it sounds really bad. What? Looks like must have been some extenuating circumstances. Lord Van Zieks. Come to think of it, about Lord Van Zieks. I heard there was a case in which his older brother was murdered by a brutal serial killer who targeted nobility and royalty, someone known as the Professor. Japanese certainly are diligent. You've done your research, haven't you? It's true. Perhaps you could say that it was that case that turned him into the Grim Reaper. Huh? What do you mean by that? When his older brother, Crimmett Van Zieks met his untimely death, the younger brother had just graduated from London University and became a prosecutor. Since then, the villains who secured a not guilty verdict in court began to disappear, and certain rumors began to circulate around London at the time. Rumors that Baroque Van Zieks was backed by the ghost of his brother Crimmett.
Oh my goodness.
So you're saying that the Grim Reaper is actually the spirit of his brother? Following that, he became a superior figure in London's legal society. Oh, Lord Vortex. Yes. About Dr. Dortpor's device. We'd like to investigate it, if possible. Are you knowledgeable about science? No, I didn't even know such a subject existed until recently. The process of lifting the protection offered by the Special Revision for the Protection of Science and Technology is already underway. Within a few hours, Dr. Sith's Scientific Investigation Unit will likely begin their investigation. Till that time, I suppose I can grant you permission to look at the wreckage.
Thank you very much.
You should be able to get a look at the doctor's device now. Also, thanks, Vortex. You're a nice guy.
I'd like to see it as well.
Time's up. Now then, I must be going. I need to get to my next meeting.
Thank you very much for your time.
It's a very important meeting regarding the security at the symposium. You know, I feel like if there was a third game, well, no, I probably shouldn't mention that right now. It's too soon. We are examining stuff before we're moving, so let's go ahead and examine the pseudo armor. The European suits of armor are facing each other, and it almost seems to have a staring contest. Also, that was a weird mixture of Naruhodō and Vortex I just did. My bad. They kind of give the impression of a pair of guardians, blocking the way to the chief magistrate.
Put it in Japanese terms, perhaps they're kind of like guardian lion dogs in front of a shrine.
I think you could even go with guardian Deva Kings.
Incidentally, my dream is to someday own 2 cats.
The conversation sure took a sudden turn for the heartwarming. Aww! Cats will protect her. Any bookshelves? Just examine the bookshelves? Okay. There's so many books stuffed into these shelves that I think you could be reborn 5 or 6 times and still not have time to read them all. Lord Vortex really read all these?
Come to think of it, my father has a lot of books in his study that he's never read.
Really?
It's because those book peddlers visit my father incessantly. My good-natured father ends up buying one after another.
It sounds like those peddlers are intentionally targeting him.
So perhaps this overwhelming number of books is a sign of Lord Vortex's limitless good-naturedness.
How'd he be able to keep someone like Lord Van Zieks in check with a weakness like that? True. That's the magistrate's chair. I bet just sitting in it makes you feel so much more powerful.
Inspired to work in a setting like this?
Not me, thanks. I'm good.
Oh?
Think about it. If you suddenly needed to use the toilet, the distance would end up being fatal. I love his priorities!
Good point. I suppose anyone would work in a place like this must not have thought about that detail.
I'm gonna take that as a compliment. Alright, we're going to the forensics lab, but I hope this time I actually find the right thing. This is probably the forensics lab, I hope. Spooky place! Same day on specified time, the forensics medical lab. This appears to be Dr. Sith's lab. There's a cloying, harsh scent of medical substances, and an intense strangeness about it that makes the eyes sting.
Appears to be out of the office. Since we're already here, we might as well take the opportunity to look around.
Sato-san. Wow, you're really brave. Be careful about our looking, so we don't end up cursed by some evil spirit. There's a bed, some blades, and some other tools. There's nothing special on their own, but why do they look so sinister when they appear together like this?
Perhaps it's best not to think about it. In any case, there's a large desk here next to them, but I don't understand how anyone would be able to work surrounded by the stink of these medical substances.
Must have nerves like steel. Either that or her nose is shockingly weak. Something pale floating in this big glass jar. I'm sure it's fruit liquor or pickled plums or something along those lines. Yeah, let's just say that it is.
Come to think of it, my father has something like this in his lab too. It's like a sample of an organ with an unusual medical condition, preserved in with pharmaceuticals.
You know, Susato-san, there are some things that people are better off not knowing.
Huh?
Let's just say it's something peaceful, like fruit liquor or pickled plums.
Very well.
TMI, TMI. A whole bunch of bottles of medicines lined up on the shelves.
The labels on these bottles say poison on them.
Huh. There are even ones that look like salt and pepper shakers at a glance.
Their labels say salt and pepper, don't they? I guess she must live here sometimes as well.
It's strange to see life and death side by side like this. Yeah, okay. Now here's the part where I gotta see if I can examine the desk without hitting the book. Last time I tried to do this, I accidentally hit the book, which triggered the next part of the scene, so.
This must be Dr. Sith's work desk.
I wouldn't want to work in a place like this.
But it's nicely tidy and very functional.
The lighting is dim, which is bad for your eyes, and the smell of medical products is harsh, which is bad for your nose. And you'd be able to feel the skeleton there staring at you, which is bad for your heart.
It's true. I imagined those things would weigh on you.
I can't tolerate anything more intense than a Daruma doll staring at me. Even that's difficult. Oh my god! He owns a Daruma doll, but even that thing freaks him out. Please, Naruhodō! Oh, this is a pretty tasteful display cabinet. Cherry wood is polished to a nice luster, and it's got detailed decorative engraving on it. Western cabinet makers do some pretty impressive work too, huh?
What about the bones inside it?
Now, listen up, Susato-san. I live my life refusing to acknowledge things that are scary. I always have, and I always will.
I'll be sure to carve that oath into my heart. There's a crow and an owl up there.
Can't help noticing that they haven't moved an inch since we got here.
Well, I don't suppose they would. They're both stuffed after all.
Ugh. I had a feeling they might be. Here I was telling myself they were just sleeping with their eyes open.
That's true. If you're going to decorate your room with something, a Daruma doll would be more peaceful choice. The more peaceful choice.
I wish I could follow Naruhodō's advice about ignoring all the scary things. This looks like a pretty thick ledger.
It seems to be a bank ledger. It's the remittance report record for the Scientific Investigation Unit. Huh?
What's wrong?
Various surgical tools and pharmaceuticals are purchased each month, but there's something here that just doesn't add up.
Doesn't add up?
They're purchasing 500 lancets a month.
500? But that's... Doesn't it mean they're just working that hard, doing that many autopsies?
The number of cases requiring legally ordered autopsies is limited. Additionally, you should be able to use a lancet many times if you simply change the blade.
Now that you mention it, it is kind of strange. 500 lancets a month? What could they possibly be using them for? What do you think you're doing? I'm sorry. There's something we wanted to ask you, but you were in your office, so... So you Orientals ransack people's offices while the owners are away. So, what brings you here today? Actually, it was something we heard from Lord Vortex. He said that you were the one who examined the victim's body. Dude, her theme is awesome.
He also said that if we wanted to find out the results of the examination, that we should visit you. So here we are.
I understand. Just promise me that once you receive the information you need, you'll get out. There's an extra dialogue here. Sometimes even I miss stuff even though this is the second time I'm going through this. The coroner's final report. Now then, I shall proceed with the final report issued by the Scientific Investigation Unit. That was a cool animation. Also, give me a second. I have to put the... The victim, Conrad Kingsley, who vanished from the stage in the blast. The Conrad Kingsley, who reappeared a moment later on the Crystal Tower. They were both unmistakably the same person. That's our final opinion. But that's crazy. If this was indeed an illusion, then it's possible to guess what the secret behind it was.
I believe all they had to do is find someone who closely resembled the victim. And have them switch places, correct?
Yes, however, that's not what happened in this case. The one who vanished and the one who reappeared were both the same person. We know that based on the fingerprints left on the stage. Fingerprints? The Great British court system doesn't accept them as legitimate evidence yet. However, someday, fingerprints will likely become an obvious part of investigative methods. She's so happy about that.
But then, in that case, that would mean that the teleportation actually occurred. Just, what are we to think about that?
Our job is to investigate, not to draw conclusions. Teleportation is impossible, and yet the body truly did teleport. Not only does that not help me solve this mystery, it only makes me more confused. Me too!
What are these, Mama?
Whoa! When the heck? Wait, she just called her Mama. These folks are a type of people known as defense attorneys. Well, there's only one defense attorney, but... Nice to meet you. I'm Attorney Naruhodō
Hey, Mama.
Yes?
Can I cut them?
Huh?
I've never cut open an Oriental before. I'd like to give it a try.
No, you may not. Look, they're not dead yet. Oh my god.
Oh, that's no fun.
Can't help but feel like might have just had an extremely narrow escape from a terrible death.
Naruhodō-sama, your face is pale as death.
We better make a run for it before she mistakes me for a dead body and slices me open. Run! Well, that's actually all we have to talk to Dr. Sith about too, so yes, we are running now to the fairgrounds. Jesus Christ. She has a good theme track though. Same day, unspecified time, the World's Fair Experiment Exhibition Grounds, Crystal Tower. She's playing with dog.
I didn't realize there were this many people in the worldwide world.
Telling me. Looks like the London's World's Fair is packed out again today.
Felt like it took us 2 hours to get here in that jostling crowd.
Did it really? I was partially unconscious for most of it, so I didn't even notice.
Oh, I'm jealous of the baffling way your body works.
I had a feeling you two would turn up here soon. Detective Gregson. Looks like you've got your hands full again today. It's been a while. I hope you're doing well. You don't have to bow to me. We just saw each other at the trial, remember? Not you. I'm just talking to the young lady there.
Oh my. Thank you very much for your consideration.
Of course he's being nice to the lady. Huh. I guess in spite of the way he looks, he's actually an English gentleman on the inside. We'd like to have another look around the crime scene today. Sure. I'll be leaving the investigating to this youngster. Oi! Gina! She's playing with the dog. Leave her be. She's playing with a dog. At least she doesn't seem to be up to no good.
Did Gina-sama become a detective?
Yep, she sure did. The better, more obedient girl than she lets on. Maybe she'd be willing to carry on my detective spirit. Let's just say, I found a good successor, and leave it at that. Why would you say that? What do you mean, a successor? It's been decided recently that I'll be transferring. Gonna say goodbye to London, in other words.
Oh my, really?
That's really abrupt? Huh? That's so, sudden. So which city will you be headed to? I'll drop in and say hi if I'm ever in the area. Oh, sure. You ought to come visit sometime. France, I mean. France? A little place known as the Parisian Police. It's the perfect city for me. Not even a real place. Forget the city. That's a whole different country. How on earth did you end up there? That's just what happens in the adult world sometimes. Don't go sticking your nose into it. Okay, but this is really bizarre. What is going on? Gregson, what? I plan to take that girl with me when I go. Will she actually go? Huh? Why are you taking Gina-san? I don't know what would happen if I left her here in London. Is he worried that Gina-san getting up to her old tricks again?
It's not that, Naruhodō-sama. He means the Grim Reaper.
I see. Sounds like Detective Gregson is worried about that too. Still a secret from her. Don't you two go blabbing about it. Alright, we won't. I've got to protect that pickpocket girl until all this is over.
Hey! You just called me pickpocket girl, didn't you?
Heard that, did you? In any case, if this is not the crime scene, you can ask her. Now she's over here.
Well, you heard him. Go ahead. Leave it to Inspector Lestrade.
Oh, bless her. I better not mention France to her, like I promised. So, what's with that dog around your feet?
Oh, his name's Toby. Pretty cute, huh?
Oh my god, Toby's adorable!
Aw, Toby-sama, how precious.
I agree. The dog is adorable, but I can't help wondering about totally not cute Detective Gregson. Tobias, Toby, ah! Okay. Let's talk to Gina. I don't know if we're gonna be able to finish everything, but we'll just start it. Something changed all of a sudden. Okay. Crime scene investigation. Gina-san? I'd like to have another look around the crime scene, if that's alright.
Sure. Go nuts.
Huh? Really?
I'm playing with this little guy right now.
Toby-kun, huh? Oh! He barks! He makes barking sound effects!
Is the wreckage of the device at the top of those stairs?
How can I, like, focus on this with that little puppy?
I haven't seen it yet, so if you don't mind.
Oh, you can't do that.
Huh?
Well, I said this yesterday too, but even I'm not allowed to go near that big rubbish heap. Cause, what's it again?
The Special Provision for the Protection of Science and Technology?
Yeah, it's protected by that, so that lot are the only ones allowed to investigate it. What are they called again?
The Scientific Investigation Unit?
Yeah, that!
But according to what we were told, they were going to lift those special provisions.
To be honest, I don't really get it either. Apparently, there's someone in charge. You just need their permission. Who was it again?
It doesn't start with Psy, but perhaps you mean Lord Vortex.
Yeah, that guy. The old bloke who likes watches.
Actually, we just spoke with Lord Vortex.
Whoa, you guys are amazing! You actually got a meeting with that guy? The boss got summoned by him a while back and went to meet him. And was kept waiting 3 days in his office. He came back crying.
3 days? Talk about a horror story.
Anyway, we were able to get permission to investigate under the condition that we only looked.
Really?
It's true.
Well, alright then. But, if you're lying... Apparently, Boss will be punished so bad he'll never be able to eat that fried crap of his again. You sure you're okay with that?
I think so.
Seriously, sounds like a horror story.
In that case, you can get to the stage using that staircase.
Thank you so much, Gina-sama.
Alright, we're gonna cut a little short, but it's like less than a minute before like time is up. So we'll keep talking with Gina in the next video. I'll see you guys then.